Half guard stuff. Dom, what are you? Any questions from half guard before we get started? We're just going to work our classic, like, how to actually smash someone in half guard. I want you to think of half guard as halfway to a pass. If you think about it halfway to a pass, you can also think of it as it's almost half as easy to get to, right? A full pass is difficult, right? Against a good guard, against a good guy, it's hard to get fully past. So if we can get halfway and create an environment where he's pinned, his hips aren't active, we can get the rest of the way much easier, okay? So we're going to start in half guard. Now, obviously this is like half guard where neither of us are winning at all, right? What I'm trying to get to is I'm trying to get to an underhook, right? I'm trying to get to a neck hug, and I'm trying to pin his shoulders on the mat. Just that in and of itself took this away from being a 50-50 position. All right, so if I can get his shoulders pinned, even if I'm here and his shoulders aren't pinned, this is not what I'm looking for. He can slide his knee in super easy, and we're screwed. I want to get his shoulders pinned. So I mow him over, get my shoulders pinned. The next thing I want to do is I want to start breaking his posture. We're going to do that two ways. One way is we're going to break the upper body by driving our shoulder down across his jawline, just like this. All right? Now, if he tries to turn that way, he can't. If he can turn that way, his body can go as well, right? So if I can pin his jaw that way, and I can be really mean about this. Like, Dom, I'm not going to be crazy, but like I can start really putting pressure on his jaw. All right, so I've got the upper body controlled. The next thing I got to do is I got to get the lower body controlled. So I'm going to pinch my knees. Why do I pinch my knees? Because I don't want his knees sliding up into my hip pocket here. We've all been there, right? So even if I have this really tight, if I'm sprawled out, he's going to slide that up into my hip pocket, and I'm pretty much in his guard. So I pinch my knees above his knee line. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my hip. All right, so the same side that I have the neck hug with, I'm going to drop this hip. And now he can't put that knee in my hip line. All right, last but not least, I got to break his posture because whenever his knees are pointed up, he's really comfortable. Like, that's how we lay, right? I want to push his knees either that way or this way. So we're going to start pushing his legs this way, and then we'll talk about how to get his knees this way if we need to. So shoulder pressure, pin, pinch the knees, and now look, I just walk. Pinch the knees, and I walk. Both my feet are moving. Step, 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 step. Just like that. All right? Now, I'm letting off a lot of pressure here. But just to remind you how much pressure I can put on there, that's like 10%. All right? Now, I need to clear my knee line. Because he knows that if he keeps this, he can get back into action pretty easy. So, I need to clear this knee line. Now, I want to post, and I want to flare my elbow. And now I pin his ear to his shoulder. Post, flare, pin his ear to his shoulder. So I'm breaking his posture again. I cup the armpit, and then I pull him in, and now it's just deadly. It's a deadly shoulder crunch. And I've got this arm elevated slightly, but he can still use it if he wants to. Yep. But if he's up here, look what I can do. Use my elbow. And if he goes to stop me from using my elbow, go to try to stop me from using, stop. Doesn't matter. And then it's just going to give me an underhook. All right? So, shoulders, walk, 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 walk. You don't have to remove your arm from this underhook. Just use your elbow. All we're trying to get is our kneecap free. Now he's going to just focus on trapping the foot, right? Yep. Or trying to push my knee back in. But he can't because I have this underhook. Right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to walk this arm up. It's two motions. I walk, pry. Walk, pry, walk, pry. And once you get his elbow past his shoulder line, it's going to be very easy to take. When it's here, it's going to take a little bit of effort, and that's why we got to pry. Right? If I just try to walk here, very difficult, but look at this pry. Now when it's here, you can just continue to walk. All right? When I go underneath his head, I'm going to grab my opposite tricep. So Pross, come over here so you can see this. I walk under and I grab my opposite tricep. And both my hands are underneath his head. I don't want to be here. I want to create tension underneath his head. Now, he's still got my foot trapped, but he can't put my knee back in place. So now I'm going to drive this knee down towards the mat, and I'm going to put my forehead on the mat. And now it's a terrible position. All right? Once my forehead's on the mat, now my legs can get light. And he can't buck me forward. Like if he bucked really hard here, my forehead would stomp into the mat. But if I put my forehead on the mat and now he tries to buck, one, it's going to give me an amount. But two, it's just like a tripod. So I'm here. Now I can go back and free my foot. So trap my foot really hard. All I'm going to do is I'm going to walk his knees up. Windshield wiper my foot to the inside of his thigh. Open the legs. And windshield wiper over. All right. Now from here, you can go to collect the other arm into smother. Or if he rolls, he makes a mistake, roll this way. Yep, you can catch him in the head and arm. Or you can start collecting the arm, working into your triangles, all that kind of stuff. But I want you to think about pinning him there for a while. Try to work on your pressure. All right, any questions? Kind of need to see it again, or are we good? Small group, we'll be around. 1, 2, 3. This position here, and you can't take his knees that way. So I try to run his knees this way, and he's not allowing me. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch to a head post. So we're going to flare the elbow again. We're going to reach with our underhook side, reach under and grab his neck here. And then we're going to reinforce it with our head. All right, are you good down? Yeah, okay. So I'm here. Now, I'm going to start working towards an underhook on this side. Sometimes he's going to be closed off and he's not going to allow you. So you start working his knees this way. Instead of going the other way, he's already not letting me go that way, so his knees are naturally going to be pointed this way. Now it's easy. And now, I start pushing on this knee to free my knee. What's he going to do? Exactly. Go to this arm. All right? So as he does that, I'm going to switch off to an underhook. Right? If he's posting on this leg or whatever, you can just scoop the underhook. Once your underhook is scooped, you're going to S-grip underneath his head. Keeping your head post the whole time. Now, I don't want his knees north anymore. I want to keep him here. So I'm going to sprawl into this side here. Now he's really torqued. Now I'm going to take this leg, and my shin is going to go over the top of his knee. Now I can free my knee. Now once the knee is freed, I can decide to go to side control, but it's much better to cut over to 3/4 mount. And then it's the same extraction process. Butt up, free the foot, and then you're here. See that one more time. Right? I can't bring his knees the other way. Flare the elbow, cup the neck, head post. And I start getting pressure here. This should suck for him. Bring the knees up. And I start pushing. If he starts getting a frame there, that's fine. I can just work into the underhook. Get to my S grip. Now I just put my shin over the top of his knee. Get my knee free. Work into 3/4 mount. Flare my elbows up. Because now there's no way he's getting them back down. Head post. Free the foot. Sound good? 1, 2, 3.
If you like what you saw, make sure to subscribe. We're on our way to 5,000 subscribers. Help us out.